My name is Kainton the Genius. This is lesson 4 of our R tutorial for data science and machine learning, and we are going to be talking about plotting. So we are going to see how to use functions like rnorm, seq, plot, JPEG, and PDF. So what it means is that if we are working on data or we want to plot a graph, we need some data. We need to generate some data to use, and that is why we need the first two. The first two functions, we use it to generate random data. I also like to remind you to subscribe to my channel so that you kind of motivate me to continue making these lessons. So just click on this red subscribe button below this video right now, and also feel free to like this video. Leave me a comment if there's something you see that you'd like me to improve on or something you would like me to do. So let's start with the first one, rnorm. We want to generate random numbers, but these random numbers will have a mean of 0. So I'm going to write it, have a mean of 0. So what it means is that some numbers in these random numbers will be negative, some will be positive, and some will be 0. So if you take the mean or the average, in this case, you are going to have 0. So let's see. Let's generate numbers between, or not, let's generate 5 random numbers. So you simply say x. I want to store these numbers generated in x, rnorm, and I want to generate, let's say, 5 random numbers. And if I check what x is, you can see that we have 5 random numbers. Now, one thing I want you to do, just check that you total these numbers, use a calculator to add them and divide by 5. You have a mean of 0. Alright, so this is how rnorm works. And now the next one is seq. seq is used to generate random numbers as well, or sequence of numbers. Let's say this time is sequence of numbers between a starting point and an ending point. So if you are using seq, you are generating sequence of numbers between a starting point and an ending point. So in this case, let's say y, we want to generate a sequence of numbers between 1 and 10. So in this case, what is going to happen is going to start from the first one and increase it by 1 for each step, right? So we can just check what y is. You can see it generated a sequence of numbers between 1 and 10. Another thing you can do is to also specify the number of items you want generated by the sequence. So let's take, for instance, seq. I've not tried this before, but let's see if we just use 10. It also gives us the same thing. But now we can also say we want to use an increment of, let's say, 2. Let's say 1, 3, 5, and so on. So what we can do in this case, we want to generate these random numbers, but we want it to increase by 2 in each time. So what we are going to do is to specify the length. In this case, we want the length to be 5. So we may have 1, 3, 5, 9. 1, 3, 5, 9. Let's just see what happens. So we have seq. We are generating a random number, 10 items from 1 to 10. And in this case, we now specify the length equal to length equal to 5. Let's see. Alright, so it also gives us 5 items, and then in this case it's choosing the space between them to ensure that we have only 5 items. So that is how sequence works. Now another thing I want to tell you about sequence, when you have a sequence from, let's say, from 1 to some number, let's say 20, this is the same as 1 to 20. It's exactly the same. So you can see it gives us the same thing. So that is why when I mentioned that colon means 2, that is, I'm going to write it, colon, most times it means 2, right? So colon like this, it means 2, right? So if we have 1 colon 20, it means 1 to 20. So that is how to generate numbers. And the next thing I want to mention is plot. Now we generate X, we generate Y, and we are going to plot a graph of X against Y. And in this case, I'm going to remove my notebook and I'm going to maximize this. And I'm going to now display the chart area. So just move your cursor all the way to the end. And I'm going to just drag. I'm going to drag out the plot area. Now I have a plot already in this place. So to remove this plot, you use dev.off. So dev.off is going to remove the plot already existing right there. So let's generate some random numbers, some random X and some random Y, and then we plot it out there on the screen. So let's say X is equal to SEQ sequence from 1 to 10. Okay, let's just say X is equal to sequence of 1 to 10, Y is equal to SEQ of 1 to 10. So we have X1, X2 all the way to 10, 1 to 10. And then you simply plot X, Y. So we have a line plot, a straight line, right? Good. So this is how to plot, but it doesn't end there. There's a whole lot of things about plotting that you may like to know. So to learn about plotting, you can simply use question mark plot. So it means help on plot. So if I press enter, oh sorry, yeah. So it says XY plotting, plot XY, and a number of things can be specified. X is the independent variable or data independent data. Y is the dependent data. And then we have a number of things you can use. We have main, we have sub, we have xlab, ylab, asp, and so on. So let's try to use them at this point. But in this case, I want to first plot a scatter plot. I don't want to use a line plot. So what I can do is to generate random numbers using arrownum. So let's say X this time is equal to arrownum of 10. Okay, let's use 20. Okay, Y is equal to arrownum 20 as well. Okay, fine. So we have our X and Y, and then we want to plot X, Y. I'm going to plot. It plots. There are some scatter plots. Now I'm going to make some changes. Now I'm going to use xlab. Let's go back to help. Remember we have tabs here, so we have help here. The last help I opened by typing question mark plot. So we have main represents the title of the plot. So let's try to use it. So plot xy main equal to a beautiful a plot of x versus y. So plots, you can see it gives us a plot of x versus y as the title of this plot. We can also use xlab and ylab. Xlab means x label, ylab means y label. So let's add those ones. So have xlab equals x values, then I'm going to put ylab equals y values. Alright, so you can see that it have added the x and y values at that point. That is the labels of the x and y axis. What I would like to do is to go back to help and see if there are other things I can find at this place. Okay, so basically we have default plots. Okay, we have a whole lot of things we can use. Okay, so let's now see about this. COL means the color for lines and plots. Let's try to use it. So at this point, we are going to say COL equal to red. So hopefully we'll have a red color plot at this point. Okay, it's right. Let's see what else we can use. Let's see if we can use BG. So vector background color for open plot symbol point. Okay, let's try just to use it. Sometimes you just have to try out things. If you open a help file, you can just be trying out things you see. So let's try BG equal to blue. Let's just try. Let's just try. So it doesn't work. So it means that a vector of background colors for open plot. So we have to also read point to see how we can use this. Alright, so basically this is how to do a basic plot, give it a color, maybe a line plot. This is how to use it. So we learned the basic things. Plots, give a label, give a caption, give your plot a color, and so on. So I'd like to stop here for now. I would like to recommend you take some time to play around and get used to how to plot and also how to generate random numbers. I'd like to thank you for viewing. Remember to like this video if it's been informative for you, and we'll see you in the next lesson.